Lena took a deep breath as she stood in front of the towering office building. It was her father's company, the empire she had heard so much about but had never truly been a part of. After completing her master's degree abroad, many expected her to walk into a high-ranking position. But instead she was starting from the lowest rank, as a cleaner. It was her father's idea. He wanted her to experience the company from the ground up, to see how things truly worked. Not from board meetings and reports, but by working alongside the employees. Most importantly, he wanted her to understand how people treated those they believed had no power. Lena didn't argue. She was curious. How did employees behave when they thought no one important was watching? Were they kind to everyone or did they only show respect based on status? Dressed in simple clothes, Lena stepped into the building with a mix of excitement and nerves. "You must be Lena," said Mrs. Taylor, a senior employee, with a polite smile. "Mr. Harris told me about you." "Welcome." Lena nodded. "Thank you, ma'am." Mrs. Taylor led her to the office. "Everyone, this is Lena, our new office cleaner," she announced. Some employees barely looked up. Others gave small, uninterested nods. But one man, Damon, leaned back in his chair with a smirk. "Office cleaner, huh?" he muttered under his breath. Lena pretended not to notice. This was exactly why she was here, to see who people really were when they thought she was nothing. The next morning, Lena adjusted her blue and white cleaner's uniform in front of the mirror. It felt strange. She had grown up in luxury, never needing to wear anything but the finest clothes. But this uniform meant more than just a disguise. It was her entry into the real world, a chance to see life from a different angle. Her mother had always taught her, respect is earned by how you treat people, not by how much money you have. With those words in mind, Lena tied her hair back, grabbed her cleaning supplies and stepped into the office. Some barely noticed her. Others glanced at her with mild curiosity. But one person made it clear he was not impressed. Damon? Damon was a senior employee known for his arrogance. He looked her up and down, smirking. "Ah, the new cleaner. Perfect timing. I just spilled my coffee. Clean it up." Lena saw the cup lying on its side, coffee dripping onto the floor. It was obvious he had knocked it over on purpose. She glanced at Damon, who folded his arms, watching her like she was his entertainment. Her heart tightened, but she reminded herself why she was here. Taking a deep breath, she grabbed a cloth and started cleaning. Damon chuckled. "You're slow. If you want to last here, you better learn to be quicker." Lena said nothing. She kept her face calm, even as embarrassment crept up her neck. When she finished, Damon grabbed a piece of paper, crumpled it, and tossed it on the floor in front of her. "Oops. Missed the trash can." Lena clenched her fists but swallowed her pride. She picked up the paper. Damon laughed. "Good. You're learning." As Lena stood up, she caught the eyes of another employee, Ryan. Unlike Damon, Ryan looked uncomfortable. Their eyes met briefly, and she saw a silent apology in them. She smiled slightly and walked away. This was going to be harder than she expected. Days passed. Lena settled into her role. She mopped floors, cleaned desks, and took out the trash. The work didn't bother her. But Damon did. He made her life miserable, deliberately dropping trash, mocking her, making her redo tasks for no reason. One day he took things further. He tossed a plastic bag onto the table beside her. "Take these to the laundry," he ordered, "and make sure my white shirts come back crisp and clean." Lena frowned. "I'm here to clean the office, not do personal errands." Damon raised an eyebrow and let out a dry chuckle. "You're here to do whatever I tell you to do. Now take it and move." Before Lena could respond, Ryan stepped in. "That's not fair, Damon. She's the office cleaner, not your maid." Damon turned his head slowly. "Mind your business, Ryan." Ryan shook his head. "No, this isn't right and you know it." Damon ignored him and turned back to Lena. "Are you going to take the clothes, or do I need to remind you who's in charge?" Lena felt everyone's eyes on her. She knew she was supposed to stay quiet, but this was beyond disrespectful. "That's not part of my job, sir," she said firmly. Silence. Then Damon laughed, loud and mocking. "Oh, we have a little rebel here." Before she could react, Damon picked up a glass of water and poured it over her head. Gasps filled the break room. Lena stood frozen, water dripping from her chin. Damon grinned. "Next time, make sure the water you serve me is cold." Ryan slammed his hand on the table. "That's enough, Damon." Damon shrugged. "Relax, she's just a cleaner. Cleaning up messes is her job." Lena clenched her fists. But she didn't cry. She didn't beg. She simply grabbed a cloth and wiped the table, acting as if nothing had happened. Ryan looked at her with concern. "Lena, She shook her head slightly. Not yet. Damon smirked, thinking he had won. But Lena knew something he didn't. His time was coming. The staff meeting was held in the grand conference room. Damon sat confidently, unaware his world was about to shatter. At 10 a.m. Mr. Harris, the CEO, walked in. "Thank you all for coming," he said. "Before we begin, I have an announcement." His eyes landed on Lena, who stood in her cleaner's uniform at the back. Damon scoffed. "Sir, why is the cleaner here? She should leave." Mr. Harris held up a hand. "I invited her." Damon frowned. "But sir, she's just a—" "Enough," Mr. Harris said firmly. "You've said plenty. Now listen." The room fell silent. Mr. Harris looked around. For 4 months I've been evaluating my successor. And today, I want to introduce the next CEO of this company. Damon sat up straighter, convinced he was the one. Mr. Harris turned to Lena. "Meet Lena Harris, my daughter and the future CEO of this company." The room gasped. Damon went pale. "No, that's not possible. She's just—" "She is not just anything," Mr. Harris interrupted. "She has been undercover, observing the true nature of this company. And Damon, your actions have spoken for themselves." Panic filled Damon's eyes as security walked in. "Damon," Mr. Harris said coldly, "you are fired." As guards escorted him out, he turned to Lena, desperate. "You did this to me." Lena met his gaze. "No, Damon. You did this to yourself." And just like that, he was gone. Lena stepped forward. "From today, this company will run on fairness, respect, and integrity. Actions, not titles, will define us." Applause erupted. Change had begun. And Lena was ready. True character is revealed in how we treat those we believe have no power. Respect, kindness, and integrity matter more than status or wealth, and those who abuse their position will ultimately face the consequences of their actions. Subscribe and turn on alerts so you don't miss powerful stories like this one. Thank you for your continued support. I truly appreciate it. See you in the next video.